Ayo, oh yeah, take. I put extra jollof. Share it with those your friends, Chika and Damilola.
Thank you, Mommy. They'll like that.
The morning sun over the Atakanal mansion always seemed to carry a golden hue, reflecting the polished marble floors and the quiet dignity of its occupants. Inside, Mrs. Atakanal moved with a regal grace, packing a simple plastic lunchbox for her daughter. She was a woman who had transitioned from the harsh realities of poverty to the comfort of extreme wealth, yet she never allowed the luxury to dull her spirit. As she handed the bag to Ao, she offered her daily counsel. Wealth was a temporary gift, but character was eternal. She reminded Ao that being rich was a responsibility
not
to
a
be
trophy.
kind, not a
Be
license
humble.
to be superior.
I know, Ma. I just
Ao,
want us to
who
be
had inherited
sisters.
her mother's serene eyes and humble heart, smiled and promised to meet her friends at the public bus stop as usual. At the dusty roadside junction, the reality was far grittier. Bizi and Chinyu stood in the heat, watching Ao approach with a wave and a genuine laugh. Ao regaled them with stories of haggling with bus conductors, trying her best to bridge the gap between their worlds. But while Ao saw shared experiences, Bizi saw a performance. To Bizi, whose life was a constant struggle for basic needs, Ao's humility felt like an insult, a wealthy girl playing commoner for her own amusement. She noticed the quality of Ao's leather shoes and the flawlessness of her skin, and a bitter envy began to fester in her heart. She whispered venomous thoughts to Chinyu, convinced that Ao was mocking them with her kindness. Chinyu, weaker and easily swayed, listened with a growing sense of misplaced resentment. The jealousy eventually turned into a dark, desperate plan. Driven by a desire to see Ao's composure break, Bizi convinced a terrified Chinyu to help her lure Ao to an abandoned, unfinished building near the campus hostels under the guise of taking a shortcut to a night lecture. Inside the shadows of the skeletal structure, the atmosphere turned cold. When Ao entered, using her phone's flashlight to guide her way, she was met not by friends, but by two girls twisted by rage. Bizi stepped forward, her face a mask of hatred, clutching a bottle of corrosive liquid. She screamed at Ao to stop the holy act, accusing her of being a pretender who used her wealth to look down on them. Chinyu stood trembling in the background, the weight of their shadows stretching long against the concrete walls. Faced with disfigurement and betrayal, Ao didn't scream or run. Instead, she stood her ground, her voice steady but thick with tears. She revealed the truth Bizi had never bothered to ask, that her mother had been a housemaid for 10 years, sleeping on floors and enduring abuse, and that their wealth was built on the back of that suffering. Ao explained that she entered the bus not to mock them, but because she had sworn never to make anyone feel small the way her mother once had. To their absolute horror, Ao reached into her bag and pulled out 2 envelopes containing checks for their final year tuition, a surprise gift she had planned to give them that very night. The next morning, the social order was finally revealed for what it truly was. A sleek black SUV pulled up to the university gate, its engine humming with quiet power. Bizi and Chinyu were there, kneeling in the dust, begging for a forgiveness they didn't feel they deserved. Ao looked at them from a distance that was no longer just about money, but about soul. She told them she forgave them and insisted they keep the checks, for her mother taught her never to take back a gift given in God's name. However, the bridge was burned. She told them firmly that while she held no hate, she could no longer keep snakes as friends. As she stepped into the car and the tinted windows rolled up, the two girls were left standing in the dust of the road, finally realizing that the true price of their jealousy was the loss of the only person who had truly cared for them.